Okay, today we're gonna up your laundry game. I have 12 laundry secrets for you, so let's get started. Okay, my first laundry secret or hack is to build a routine. So I've talked about this in a previous video, but basically if you just pick days of the week when you do your laundry, your whole house will just get into this rhythm with laundry. Everyone will know when their clothes will be clean, you will always have enough towels. I recommend doing 2 loads a week, or just however you can break it up into smaller loads. That way you're not doing like tons of laundry at one time or doing an unmanageable load of laundry that's like really unappealing to fold. You're kind of just breaking it up and making it a little bit easier on yourself. Okay, the next is to actually wash your clothes on cold water. So there are a ton of benefits to this. Obviously, the first benefit being that you're saving on electricity. You know, the majority of your cost of running your washer is the water, heating the water. The other reason is a lot of those laundry detergents that are for high efficiency laundry machines are designed to be used in cold water washes. Then more benefits. Cold water actually reduces the need for like precise sorting. So you can rinse colors with different colors and not have to worry about any colors fading or bleeding. So cold water really helps with that. And the other thing, there is less risk of shrinking or kind of like ruining things if you wash things in cold water. And additionally, if you have a stain, cold water generally is the thing that you need to remove it rather than hot water. I would recommend just using hot water for things that are like super dirty or smelly or that kind of a thing. Okay, next is to cut your detergent use in half. So think about the amount of detergent that you use for each load, and you probably fill it up to the max line. Well, try to cut that in half, and I'm gonna tell you why. There's a couple things. Too much detergent will actually ruin your clothing because what happens is the laundry isn't designed to get all of that soap out of the water. So if you have extra soap, then it ends up staying on your clothes and kind of creating this buildup, which makes your clothes a little bit like dingy. It's almost like soap scum building up on your clothing. And then additionally, they start to smell. So just think of the amount of detergent that you currently use and cut it in half and see how it goes. Not only will you get the benefits I just mentioned on your clothing, you also save money over time on your laundry detergent. Oh, and too much extra soap in your washer will actually also cause your washing machine to smell. Okay, my next hack is on stains. So the one thing with stains is you never want to let them dry. So really, you just need to act fast when you get a stain. So my recommendation is as soon as you get a stain, if you can, put cold water on it right away and then go ahead and treat it with whatever stain treater that you like to use. And then once you've done that, you can go ahead and wash it on cold water. I also will say if you do wash the item and the stain doesn't come out, don't put it in the dryer, because once you put it in the dryer, that's gonna set the stain and it will never come out. You can keep trying to get it out a second or third time if you need to, but as long as you don't put it in the dryer. Next is to prevent fading. When you're washing dark clothing, you know, maybe you've got some dark jeans or black tops or anything black really, turn the item inside out. That's kind of where the item's usually the dirtiest anyway, is on the inside. So you turn the item inside out and wash it that way. And then that way, that prevents the fading. You know, I also mentioned the cold water, which will additionally help with reducing fading of your clothing. Okay, next is not to overload your washer. So, you know, the washer drum is huge, but you can't pack it to the max. My recommendation is to only fill the washer drum 3/4 of the way. That will give enough space for the water and the soap and the suds and everything to kind of tumble and mix together and wash really well. So definitely don't overfill your washer. You could even end up breaking it that way, so you want to be careful. My next one is one of my favorite things, but it's to use laundry bags for delicates. We have a ton of laundry bags and we use them all the time. I put things in there, so we put all of our delicates in there. I put silky, like soft shirts that I don't want to get destroyed or that I'm worried about like buttons getting destroyed. The other thing that I put in there are like the masks. You know, when we were wearing masks all the time for COVID, I was washing the masks because the fabric masks have the ear loops that would get stuck, or anything you want to keep together or sort of keep contained. The delicate bags are perfect for that. Additionally, when you do put things in the laundry, you want to make sure that everything is zipped and buttoned. That will make it wash a little bit better and not kind of destroy your buttons or your zippers. Okay, my next tip is if you have a front loader. So after you've used the washing machine and you're done for the day, you need to go and dry that rubber gasket. This was actually recommended to me by the guy who installed the washing machine for us. He told me he had a front loader and he didn't do it, and he said it got so moldy and there was nothing that could be done. He even said it voided the warranty on his machine. So now he tells everybody when they get their washing machine to dry out that gasket. So I've been doing it religiously every time I do laundry, and I have not had a problem with mold. Everything's been fine. The other thing I recommend is to just leave the washer door open. Trust me, it sort of keeps the mold out of it. It keeps it nice and fresh, and that's what I do. My next tip, this is number 9, is to use low heat for your drying needs. A lot of times you think like, I'm just gonna put it on high and it will dry it really fast. But what that actually does is it kind of like ruins your clothes. Really, the only clothing that needs to be dried on high heat is jeans. Jeans love and thrive on high heat. For everything else, you can use low to medium heat. You don't want to use, the heat that's too hot. And what this will do is it won't ruin your clothes. You have less risk of shrinkage. And additionally, you'll save money because you're not using as much energy to heat your dryer. Okay, my next tip may be a little bit controversial, but it's to not use dryer sheets. I know they smell really good, but they're so bad for you. They're full of lots of toxic ingredients. You don't want to be putting that on your clothing and then wearing your clothing on your skin, your largest organ. You don't want to be absorbing all of those chemicals off of your clothing. So I recommend not using dryer sheets at all. The other thing about dryer sheets is they put like a waxy buildup on your clothing, and over time it's just going to degrade your clothing. So I just don't recommend them at all. What I do recommend are the drying balls. I have these super adorable hedgehog drying balls, and I just put about 4 of them into the load when I'm washing laundry. So what these dryer balls do is, as the clothing is tumbling, it creates separation and airflow, and it actually dries your clothing faster. You just put in as many dryer balls as you have. If you have a tiny load of laundry, you could use 2. If you have a bigger load, you could use 4. You could even use more, it doesn't really matter. The other thing is they're anti-static, so they kind of do the same thing as the dryer sheets. And winter's coming, so it's a great use of dryer balls. And they say that they also help with wrinkles. Okay, number 11 is to not put everything in the dryer. I love using the dryer or whatever. I think it's very convenient. However, there are certain things that just shouldn't go in the dryer because it will break them down and ruin them over time. So like different delicates and underwear that may have elastic, the dryer kind of breaks that rubber in the elastic down and they get looser. Same thing with athletic clothing. You don't want to put that in the dryer because a lot of that activewear has performance material in it, which is made of rubber, and the dryer will break that rubber down and your athletic clothing won't last as long. I also don't put like silky things in the dryer or anything that I'm kind of worried about the fabric being damaged. I just go ahead and read the label, and generally I either hang them to dry or lie them flat to dry. Okay, my last tip is to clean your dryer's lint trap every time you run the dryer. It's just an easy thing to do, but it sort of keeps everything fresh and lint free. And then once a month, I actually take the lint trap and I throw the whole thing in the top rack of the dishwasher. If I don't want to do that, I can wash it by hand as well, and that's just a good way to keep it clean. Now I'm going to tell you another thing, because I did not know this, and I recently learned you have to clean under this lint trap. I stuck my vacuum cleaner, and a flashlight, and I was horrified by the amount of lint that was under and down in there. I'm going to throw a picture up. It was quite shocking, I have to say. I didn't realize that this needed to be done. This is probably like a fire hazard. I have no idea. But I learned that every couple of years you need to do this. And I figured out where all of the socks that you lose in the dryer go. They go here. I found like 10 pairs of socks. I even found baby socks from my daughter, who is now 14. So you know that this is like crazy. Okay, I'm going to show you the part that you have to clean. So basically, this is the filter, and you pull it out, clean this after every load. However, inside here, take a flashlight and look down in. This is where you need to vacuum. This gets full of lint and everything, and this is where I found all of those socks. Additionally, you are supposed to get your dryer vent cleaned every couple of years. It's usually located outside, but it's a good thing to do to make sure your dryer is optimally working, forming really well, and that you don't have any fire hazards with your dryer. Okay, so those are my laundry hacks. I hope you learned something new. I definitely think there are some good tips in there. If you've got any laundry hacks, I would love to hear them. So go ahead and let us know in the comments what kind of hacks you do for your laundry. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.